Welcome, Leicester Fan TV. Are you ready for the show? Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. We want your views, we want your comments, so join us live. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the match preview. This is normally the aftermath show with Jamie, but because it's not after the match, we are going to do a preview today. So make sure you get your comments in, get your views in. Sam will be joining us in a minute, but get your views and get your comments in for the game. Morning, councillor Chris. Morning, Chris thought it was Jamie. It's not Jamie. It's Reedy. Morning, Facebook user. Chester, if we don't win, we need a miracle to keep us up. I hate to be negative, but this is a huge game. It is huge. It is very, very huge. And I'm getting worried now because after results, that's gone our way. Obviously, Forest losing was brilliant, but it's like the instance of if we do lose tomorrow, it's going to be a lot harder to get safety than it is with the win, if you know what I mean. So if we win tomorrow, then we'll be in a brilliant position to stay up with having 4 games left to get 1 or 2 points or even 3 or 4 points. I think if we get the win tomorrow, I honestly think we'll stay up. Susan, morning, hope you're doing okay. Neil, welcome. Craig, welcome as well. Chris says, I still believe that we can stay up because Leeds and Everton have bad games. They do. I've said that. I think Leeds, other than today's game against Bournemouth, I honestly think they're going to have a very, very tough rest of the season. So we've just got to make sure we win tomorrow. Any more comments before? Bring Sam in. Morning, Reedy. From Derek. Morning. And the guy says, losing Kelly is a massive blow. And with that comment, I am going to bring Sam in to get the answer on that. Sam, welcome, mate.
Yes, hello. Yeah, it is a massive blow, to be honest, with Nacho out. There's no two ways about it. I think if you were to pick one of the 3 strikers to definitely be in the starting 11, it would be Nacho up there because he is the creating player. So it is a big blow, but I still believe we can do it. Vardy's found his form. You know, I think I read somewhere literally just a few minutes ago that Vardy was saying that Rodgers was really, not utilising him, and said his time as a football player is done, not just at Leicester, but his time as a footballer is done, which is why Vardy's found 0 form this season. So I genuinely think Vardy is pretty much back to normal. I think we'll see him be on the score sheet tomorrow as well.
Well, like I say, as much as I'm not a big fan of him, I hope so, because obviously he did well to get the goal against Leeds. Obviously, it was a brilliant run for him and got the goal. But like I was saying, tomorrow's result is massive for us, isn't it? We go 5 points clear of Everton if we do win tomorrow. And it just puts us in a lot better position, because if we do lose, there's many people are saying in the chat that if we do lose tomorrow, it's going to look very, very risky for us.
Yeah, I mean, there's no two ways. It's not even about losing. We can't draw, really. We have to beat them because Everton are around us. Like I said, Leeds are playing today. We really need Bournemouth to beat them. And if we can get 3 points against Everton, it really does, make our running a little bit easier, because obviously the next 4 fixtures are going to be very tough for us coming up. We've got Fulham next, then Liverpool and Newcastle, then West Ham. So they're all games we can pick up points from, minus Newcastle maybe because they are just the best team out of all of them. But realistically, if we were to get 3 points from any of those teams, it would be Everton as the next one. And like I said, it pushes us up. It gives us confidence. We'll be a lot higher than Everton. And hopefully if Leeds lose as well, we'll push up higher than them. Forest, again, they got unlucky, I think, to come away with nothing against Brentford. So it is one of those where we can, as much as well as we play, we're kind of relying on other teams to lose as well, which is tough because I can see out of Forest, Leeds, Everton, and ourselves, some of those teams are going to be picking up points in the final games.
Yeah, and I will go back to what Dean Smith said about in his conference and said about playing the next 4 games on a Monday night after everyone else has played. It's not really the best of situations, is it? Because We're literally going to
No,
be
but
watching other teams play before we get a
at
say
least
on
we
the
know where
league.
we stand. At least we know where we'll stand. Playing Monday night, if we know that, say we beat Everton tomorrow, and then all the other teams next weekend play and they all lose, it's like, all right, if we lose to Fulham then, or if we even get a point to Fulham, it's not the end of the world because we know the other teams around us haven't got the points. But if you see someone like Everton does pick up 3 points next weekend, it really does hopefully kick up the arse to the lads that they need to go and get 3 points for Fulham as well to keep fighting to even just get 17th.
Yeah, I completely agree. Under here says beat Everton, beat Fulham, draws Liverpool, lose to Newcastle, and draw beat West Ham. I think you're asking for a lot there, but I'd be happy with it. And if we did all of that, I think we'd be comfortably staying up. But okay, so obviously you're talking about the fixtures. Obviously, we're doing the Everton game right now.
Yeah.
But if you into the next 5 games, do you see? I'll take away the Everton game because if we do win that, we'll be in a lot better position. But do you think
Yeah.
we'll stay up if we do beat Everton tomorrow?
I think if we beat Everton tomorrow, we need to get 3 to 4 more points to be safe for the rest of the season. Based on the other teams, like we've all seen the fixtures. I think for the other teams, Everton got really tough running. Leeds and Forest both got really tough run-ins, but you saw Brighton, they won 6-0 yesterday, and Forest beat them the week before. So it really can go any which way. So the results really are just dependent on which team's better on the day. So Forest could turn up next weekend and get 3 points, and that's a real blow for us. But we can't rely on other teams right now. So we do, for me, I think, like I said, we need to win tomorrow and get another 3 to 4 points. So I'd say 7 points out of the remaining 5 should keep us up for the season, about 35 overall.
Yeah, I agree. Again, we in the office we did kind of predict the games coming up and whatnot. We didn't predict Forest beating Brighton. That was one that we just didn't expect. But the games now we've got are there for the taking. Obviously, Liverpool at home is still a big one, and I still think we can get points out of it. But going back to the Everton game now, then, who do you maybe put into the starting lineup? Do you bring anyone back? Obviously, we did the tactics talk the other day, but
Yeah,
since then, obviously with the press conference, is there any kind of change in your team, or do you think anyone should be
I
coming in
think
because of
I
the Everton
think my team's
problem it face?
I think the team stays pretty much the same from the tactics talk show. Like I said, for me, I dropped Christensen and put Thomas in there at least for the first half. I know people might disagree, but for me, I just saw too much hot-headedness from Christensen, which is, or if you look at the first goal from Leeds, it was Christensen caught out of position and he didn't cover the cross as well as he could have, and it was multiple times. I feel like Everton are a better team going forward, so I think there'll be more. They'll capitalise more on us if we make a mistake, and I think, like you said, we know that Everton are there for the taking, but they're thinking the exact same about Leicester. They're there for the take of all 3 points. So my team stays the same. Vardy up front, Daka and Barnes as well up there somehow, shape and form. Maddison, Tielemans, Samari, usual back four with Faiz and Soinchu and Castagna at right back. Iverson in goal, and it's just Thomas for me as a left back that I'm changing for Christensen.
Yeah, someone's I don't think agrees with you with that, saying what you're on about. And Graham does ask, is JJ fit? Now I've seen a lot of training images and videos recently of him actually in training. I've not heard anything bad about him saying he's still injured or he's close to being back fit. But if he is fit, would you be putting him back in?
I would. He's been out for a long time. He wouldn't walk straight back into the first team. But if he is fit, I'd give him maybe 20, 30 minutes if we're not losing. If it's a comfortable win, if it's not like a squeaky bum time, 1-0 with 20 minutes to go, I wouldn't risk him. But if it's maybe a 2 or 3 goal lead, comfortable, then bring him on for the last 20, 30 minutes.
Okay, well, I'll just kind of retract that statement because he says he's not in the 25-man squad, so he can't even play anyway, which is the issue, which is actually unfortunate for us. But it's a hard, again, going into Everton is always a positive look and a negative look. And you've just got to be on the positive side. You're at home. You're at a team who, away on the reverse fixture, you did beat, and quite comfortably as well, 2-0 win. With the 2 games we've just played and a draw and a loss, do you actually see us getting any points here? Because, like you say, both teams want it, both teams need it. But if we can win this game, we will be 5 points clear of them and in a very good position to stay up.
I do think we can beat them. think confidence is on our side. We've had 3 good games in a row. I know Man City, we lost 3-1, but we still played pretty well, especially in that second half. Wolves, again, we didn't play as great, but it's 3 points. You don't need to play amazing to pick up the points like we've shown. Leeds, I think a draw is probably justified. We all think we could have won it. Then you look at their chance there, or maybe they could have won it. So the point was probably the right result in the end for that. But it is a massive confidence boost going in, knowing that out of the past 2 fixtures, we've had 4 points and we could make it 7. I think the home crowd's going to be up for it be quite loud tomorrow at the King Power, but it's a tough one. It always is. Everton, again, like I said, they're going to want it just as much as we are because they're not going to want to get relegated. They never have before from the Premier League. They've spent a lot of money. They're making this new stadium. They really don't want to get relegated from the Premier League, and they're probably thinking Leicester is there for the taking.
Yeah, I completely agree. I will get Jono in quickly to ask about his kind of take on the game. Jono, welcome.
Morning, mate. How are you?
Well, nervous, but hopefully we can get it sorted tomorrow. What's your kind of take on the game and maybe a quick outlook on the Leeds game as well?
I think the Leeds game was a fair result. I think, Bamford had a, massive opportunity. I just think that, I don't know what on earth Tielemans' goal was offside. It was, everyone's in the box was trying to defend, and I don't see how it's an offside, but, I think a draw is a fair result. I think going into if we were at Everton, I think I'll be worried. But it's at the King Power. Steen will be rocking. Vardy's got his confidence back. So I've a little bit more confidence in this game than I did the last game, to be honest.
As Derek says there, tomorrow's meant to be our easiest
it's not
game.
No. Every game is not easy. No game. I think each game is as difficult as each other. But I think Liverpool actually is going to be easier than we thought because they're really poor at the moment. But I think it'll be a tough game.
Yeah, Sam, I'll come back to you. With obviously key players in our team now, obviously Barnes coming back into the fold, Maddison back in after last game. Do you see anyone being the main key player in tomorrow's game? Obviously, I wouldn't say relying on Maddison all season, but he's been one of our best players. So do you think he's going to be the person to hopefully get us the win tomorrow?
I don't think he'll be Maddison. I think the one person that really will be a threat for us now is Vardy. I think he's got his confidence back, and I think you'll see him. He'll want to score back in front of all the fans again because it's been so long since he's done it. For me, like I said, I like Maddison. He's a great player in that. I think at the moment his head's maybe just 1 foot out the door coming to the end of the season. I just see a little lack in quality in the past few games. I know he's coming back from injury, but he's losing his head a little bit too much for me. So I don't know if Maddison can be a key player, but you saw when the subs came on and it was more attacking, he was a lot more into the game and doing a lot more. But when it was just him and Nacho up front, he wasn't doing as much. So hopefully with that different formation, because it's just going to have to be without Nacho, we are going to have to play probably a bit more of an attacking lineup. Hopefully he does become, a little bit more of an attacking threat and keeps his head on, because we know that we're going to need it for the last few games.
Well, yeah, we've seen what Vardy said in his post-match interview when he was saying about if he talks, he'll get in trouble for what he says. We kind of alluded to it was probably down to something Brendan Rodgers did. He said he's back now. So, Jono, do you see him starting? Do you think they will start with 3 up front with Barnes and Tete, or do they play with Daka and Vardy like I kind of put down into my tap talk?
Well, what I did against, is it Leeds? We played 3 up front. It's this part of the season where I think, starting 11, I think is out the window. I think we play the most attacking football we can and just go at Everton with absolute ferocity because, they're conceding goals like anything. We're conceding goals all the time. So I think it will just be down to who can score more. If we got Vardy and Daka, if we press them enough, like Vardy is hungry now. Like he wants to prove himself. He wants to say, yes, I won Leicester's the title and I can help Leicester keep Leicester up for the second time. So I think he'll be more hungry and just play both players, play all the players, whatever's needed to win. I don't care how we win it. I don't care if we play, Suter and, right winger. I don't care as long as we get the result. I don't care.
Well, I've always said that we don't really normally play Daka and Vardy together, do we? But I think with the last few games, he's shown that when Vardy and Daka are on the pitch together, we've scored more goals when we've had Barnes on the pitch. For me, so for me, it has to be two up front, like David says here. I'm gonna go on to the council's comment here saying the atmosphere we're rocking tomorrow. That's got to be the main point, isn't it, Sam? That we're at home. Obviously the last game when we beat Wolves after that Castagna goal went in, it was just kind of, I wouldn't say dreams, but it came out there and we scored it in a brilliant way to make sure we won the game.
Yeah, I think, like you say, it was. It's a tough one to say about the atmosphere because you know how fickle it has been this season with, and rightly so. You know, with the performance we've been playing and how the manner we've been losing the games, it's been dire football to watch for the majority of the season at home. So I think that right now we just know that we're going to see Vardy back in the lineup. There's no question about it. You know, he's going to want to get a goal against Everton. He's going to want to come and bounce back and keep Leicester in the league. I think it has to be rocking. It's Monday night football, you know, bank holiday. I think everyone will be buzzing for the game. And again, my biggest fear is we just don't go 1-0 down inside 15, 20 minutes because that could really kill the atmosphere off. And I think the atmosphere is going to be a massive part in the game tomorrow. So as long as we can just keep hold of, not even a lead, just not conceding the first 15, 20 minutes of the game, I think the King Power will still be rocking. And even if we could score first, it'll be even better.
We've said that the last few games, haven't we? Saying that we've got to score early, and the likes of Leeds when we got that Euro Tillemans goal. Yes, it was cut offside, but it's one that if that came in, I think we probably could have won the game 2 or 3-0 because we were in control. We needed that goal to go in, and obviously then we conceded a pretty poor defensive error on the near post for the keeper. But now going into the Everton side, is there anyone you can see looking on their side that you'd think is going to be a threat, Jono? Obviously, we know that Damari Gray is in that side who we used to have, and I didn't think he was great for Leicester City. But going into this game now, do you see any threat from their side of things?
I don't think, not really. I just think if they score, it'll be a sloppy defensive error, and whoever we give it to will score. I don't think, like, that's why we are in this position. That's why Everton in this position. We don't have that key player who's consistently a threat. Like, you know, Man City have Haaland, you know, Man United have Rashford. So we don't have one of those key players to consistently be a threat. And if they score, it's because we give away a massive error to any one of their players who capitalizes. But yeah, I can't see one of their players being a massive threat.
Well, I will put this stat out there. I think they're the lowest. I think they're the lowest team to score any goals. They've basically got only 25 goals this season out of all the teams in the Premier League,
Which
and
is
that is a massive thing.
Emphasizes my point. If they score because we've made a massive error.
Yeah, I can't lie. We'll move on to what Scott's coming as well, saying Simare midfielder with Pratt and Maddison. I called that out, and I think me and Sam at least agree that Simare has to be back in that side for tomorrow's fixture. As much as people might not like the fact of him, he's done well the last 2 games, and he's got to stay in there, hasn't he, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen, like I said, some people in and around just spaces of Leicester saying that I don't see what people are seeing tomorrow, and I'm just like, I don't see what you're not seeing in him in the past few games. He's clearly been the standout player considering he's. I mean, I think we can all be honest. He's been pretty poor for the majority of the season, but since Dean Smith's come in, he's changed his style of football. Like I said, I've been saying about Daka that Roger signed him, and we never played him the style that someone like Daka should be played, same as Vardy. They're the quick counter-attacking strikers. And I think I was a bit quick to judge Samari by saying, well, he's not doing very good. But when he first signed, we all said he's a box-to-box midfielder. We've not played him like that until now. And you can clearly see that is his strengths going back and forth, not just sitting in one position, waiting for them to attack and defend it. So, yeah, he does walk into, he's probably one of the first names on that team sheet for tomorrow's game. And hopefully he has another good game because I think we're going to need it really in the midfield. Whoever dominates the midfield tomorrow, I think, will be the team that comes out on top.
Yeah, Jono, as Phil says here, it's obvious to say it all again, but it simply must win. The fans will be a massive part of the win. Like I said before, we're at home. The fans are all going to be there to try and support the boys. But what is going to be the changing point tomorrow? If we do win tomorrow, can you see us staying up? I asked Sam this, and he said that we still need at least 3 or 4 more points. But can you see us staying up if we do win tomorrow?
like, I'm not saying if we win tomorrow, we don't need any more points. That's it. No, we need more points. I agree, Sam. We need more points. But the main thing is mentality. If we lose tomorrow, even though mathematically we can obviously stay up, we won't, because mentality wise, if we can't beat Everton, how are we going to beat Fulham? How can we beat Liverpool? How can we beat Newcastle? You know what I mean? These games give you the mentality boost that we need. And if we can't beat Everton, or if we make a silly mistake that makes us lose or draw, then I think that's going to be a downfall. But if we beat Everton convincingly, we'll be like, you know what, we can do this. So I think mentality-wise, winning this is gigantic. Not points-wise, mentality-wise, winning this is key.
Well, like you say, we've won against Wolves. We drew against Leeds in a hard game, and we actually got out of it with a good point, and I think anyway. And then going into this game now, if we do win against Everton, that's what, 3 games unbeaten. We would have said 4, maybe, if we did draw to Man City in the end, but we didn't. So after the Everton win, you could go into Fulham with a lot more confidence, couldn't you, Sam? And hopefully you could see yourself getting even a winner there.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the 2 fixtures I've just gone, on paper, Everton is the easiest one out of all 3. We're at home. They're on worse form than Wolves are. They're definitely on worse form than Leeds are. Obviously, they got less points, so it shows in the table. But like I said, going into Fulham, it is a massive confidence boost. They're not doing great. They're going to be without Mitrovic still when we face them. That's their biggest threat up front. So even a draw is fine. It's one of those games where it is a bit of a, if we don't win, we don't win, but let's just try and get a point on the road, because it could be another point that's vital. Because the next coming game is going to be tough. Hopefully by the West Ham game, they're safe and they're kind of just concentrating on the Europa Conference League if they're still in it. And they just hopefully don't let us get the 3 points, but it's an easier game to get 3 points from, because Liverpool is going to be really tough. Newcastle, I generally think it could be a game where we get slapped around a little bit, because they're doing it to everyone.
Yeah, Newcastle Newcastle's for me already a game we're not going to win, because Newcastle are just a different level. So it's the rest of the games I feel we can get something from. But if you look at the table, we are, of the last 2 games, out of all the teams in the relegation battle, we've got the most points. So in terms of the last 2 games, we are the better team in form. Like Everton have lost. Everton have got 1 point, we've got 4. So I think going into it, we'll have a bit more form at home.
Yeah. Again, it's all down to the different teams, and it's just a hard one, because when we play them on the reverse fixture on all these games that we've got coming up, we've beat them all. We've done comfortably beaten. Obviously, that was before the World Cup, before we started losing games back to back. But like Phil says here, Everton, West Ham, very winnable. Fulham, Liverpool could go either way, and they can. We've even said, me and you, Sam, have said that going into that Liverpool game at home, it is winnable. It's even draw. We can draw, and as long as we beat Everton tomorrow, it'll be in a lot more comfortable position to go into the last 4 games, just trying to gain 1 or 2 points from for every single one of them.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, every game that we've played this season, you don't always. There's only 6 of the top 6. Obviously, teams like Liverpool's, your Chelsea's, and that you probably think you're not going to get anything from. So it's vital that we get 3 points against Everton, and it is vital for me that we come away with at least a draw to Fulham. And for me, like I said, if we can get 3 or 4 more points after beating Everton, so say 7 points in total, I'd see that being a win from Everton, a win from West Ham, and a draw at Fulham. And then Liverpool's a free hit, and Newcastle again free hit. So if we can pick up those 7 points out of the teams that we know we can beat, the teams that are around us, or even I know Fulham aren't around us, but they're a team that aren't on form, that we can get points if we've got confidence from them. So again, we shouldn't be relying on the teams that, like you say, Liverpool, Newcastle. Hopefully by then we should already be safe and get the points where we need to get the points.
Yeah. And last thing I'll ask then is score lines. Jono, we want your score line for tomorrow. Monday night under the lights.
It's obvious we're going to concede. I'm not saying we won't concede, because we'll make a mistake, or they'll just have one bit of quality play that will concede. We won't not concede. So I'm going to say 2-1. I'm going to be confident for the first time in a while. I'm going to say 2-1 to Leicester. Vardy to score both.
Okay, and Sam?
Yeah, I agree with John. I don't think we're not going to concede. I think we've got 18 or 19 games in a row without a clean sheet now. So I think it's pretty obvious we are going to concede. Who knows? We might not, like you said, probably the worst defensive record against the worst scoring record tomorrow night when you play Everton. So I'm going to say 3-1 because I don't see us not conceding. I'm going to say 1 for Vardy, 1 for Samari, and 1 for Madison.
Okay, and then I'm gonna have to give mine. I'm gonna go 3-0. I'm gonna go for a comfortable win. I honestly think at home, if we get that early goal, like Sam's been alluding to all show, that we got to get that early goal, and I think if we do that, I think we can be comfortable in winning 3-0. And it'll be a big boost going into the Fulham game with a clean sheet. So I'm gonna go 3-0. I'm gonna put Daka on the score sheet like I always do. I want him to score. I'm going to put Samari on the score sheet like I always do, just because I want them to keep performing well. Any more predictions? 2-0 to Leicester from Mobile. Scott says 3-1 Leicester. Barnes to open the scoring. Hope so. If he does start, he's got to get that goal to boost his confidence. And Ivan says need to win 2 more games. And I agree. I think if we beat Everton and we probably beat Fulham, you go into the Liverpool and Newcastle game, like you say, Sam, and we could be a lot more comfortable in that position. But cheers, Jono. Cheers for coming on today, and we'll catch you probably
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow on the watch along.
No problem. I'll see you later.
No, see you in a bit. Sam, appreciate you coming on. I don't know if you've gone, you're frozen. But I'll catch you soon. So see you in a bit. And there you go, guys. Appreciate it. Phil, welcome. Thank you for the comments. Jeff, let's go to the ground 2-0. Sam has somehow joined back after they've been froze. But yeah, Sam, appreciate you coming on. And
Cheers.
We'll probably be doing a tactics talk on the Fulham game next week sometime.
Yeah, we'll do, yeah.
Yep, no worries. Well, cheers coming on, Sam, and we'll see you in a bit.
Cheers.
There you go, guys. Appreciate you all coming on. Sam, not normally awake by now. No, it's because I woke him up. I made him get up for this show. Tyler, make sure you jump on the watch along tomorrow if you want to come on to a show, or maybe Phil's show on Tuesday. And Graham does say 2-1 win to Leicester. Coles, get on. I'm not too sure what you mean. But yeah, that's it, guys. Appreciate you coming on, and we'll catch you on the next show. See you in a bit.
Welcome. Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.